startups. So I think we as women should come together to empower each other.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, because we always feel that we could have something new when we join our conversation in our Empower You podcast, and especially with our empowering friends coming from different part of the world. Even we never met in person. And today we have our doctor, the one and only one, Viveka, in the house, and she will be bringing us the vision of the future. How about that? Because she has been combining her spirit as an entrepreneur, a doctor, and an enthusiastic heart and soul to make the world a better place for real in different ways. And Viveka, come on and share with us so we can kick off today our conversation, turning ideas into empires and masterpieces.
Thank you so much for having me on your show, Jen. And I'm very honored. Yeah, your spirit is so contagious as well. So I'm very happy to be talking to you as a good friend. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure that I know that you are not in India at all now, I believe. But I had a chance to work with a lot of Indian friends when I was in Samsung, and I think this is another touching point that we had where it is a combination of engineering, technology, and people, and innovation, and art, and like the spiritual conversation. So I don't know how much you're going to touch on it today, and we know that we have a very like practical topic, turning ideas into empires. So what is the empire that you are building, because you are like a visionary leader?
Yeah. So yeah, thank you. So the empire that I'm building is a venture studio. So it's world's first inclusivity focused, but industry 5.0, which is robotics, automation, digitalization, and all of that, with sustainability, human centricity, and resilience in the heart of it. So what I'm trying to build here is a deep tech venture studio, but I also consciously try to make sure that there's inclusivity in it. I mean, if we do not focus on inclusivity, I think the world will be run by just men. So I just want to, I don't have any problem with men, but I also feel that it should have some women in it, some racial minority in it, it has to be diverse and inclusive. So that's the empire that I'm trying to build, which is born out of my idea of, trying to be doing a world's first industry 5.0 venture studio, by also being very inclusive about it. Yes.
Yeah, lovely. I think the word empire seems to be like a big word, and it is. And why not? Because I believe that human potential is unlimited if we really work together. And I think I love to have our friends here who listening to it right now or later on also think with us today about your own empire in your way. And maybe we can break it down to see like what kind of elements inside it. So you have the kind of venture studio as a, let's say, model. Could you break it down more on what would be the very essential elements of that? And we're gonna go a bit deeper on the underlying of human inside. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I like the question because, yes, you're very right. The empire or a venture studio is a very big term, and it is made up of smaller elements which are actually very impactful, right? With regards to River Venture Studio, it has three pillars, I would like to call it. It's like the foundational pillars. One is a community. So I'm trying to build a community of Industry 5.0 players. It could be investors, it could be researchers, it could be startups, it could be even individuals who are interested in what's robotics, what's sustainability, right? So this is not a WhatsApp community. It is a technology platform by itself. So we will also be launching an app soon. So that's the first pillar. The second pillar is an accelerator. So it's a global accelerator. So we welcome startups from all over the world. And let's say there's a startup from Ghana and they want to expand into Vietnam. So we will be the ones who are facilitating them to connect Ghana with lab to market, for example, right? So we are accelerator in that sense. And we are a startup studio where we will be investing into startups and taking equity out of it. So these are the three pillars of River Venture Studio, or the smaller elements of the empire itself. Yeah.
Lovely. And hey, my friends who are listening to it right now, what would be your 3 pillars or your 5 pillars or your one important part of your empire?
Yeah.
Let's think through it with us, right? And thank you for mentioning on Love to Market, the incubation venture builder acceleration that we are doing in the Goldings Hanoi Entrepreneur Hanoi University of Technology in Vietnam. And it's how also like the reason we knew you through one of our startup, Apico. If he is listening to it right now, hello, the founder of Apico, our
Yeah.
favorite founder. And I think it's also like a part of your, let's say, empire. So I
Yeah.
really like to see like what would be your role in that empire? And also for any friends who listening to it right now, what would be your role in the empire that you are building? And the reason I'm asking that question is that how did you define your role? And maybe it came from what was that journey of you to define that empire?
Yeah. All right. So that's a good question as well, because the role that I see myself doing is to spearhead the entire, because I call this as a movement. It is a venture studio. It's a tangible thing that we are doing here. But then I also believe it's a movement. And I look at myself as a person who's spearheading it. And the reason, or the idea behind it is like when I met you, right? So when I met you, I was actually building Singapore's first Industry 4.0 accelerator. And including Apico, the founders that I met with were all men. And so it came up with that, thing that where are the women? I mean, I met you. I mean, you are a woman, but very lean representation. So I thought it is upon me to bring more women and other representational minorities into it. And it is upon me to focus a little bit into the future, into Industry 5.0. So what started as a personal thing, right? I think I'm the one who has to do this. So that thought, and then it led myself as a person who's spearheading this movement. Then I went and launched in River Venture Studio. So yeah, that's the story. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. So I would feel like the journey just unfolds and
Yeah.
as it's starting from like an idea, and then as you walk on the way, it can be either meeting that person, this person, or it can be like through this project, that project, and you connect the dots. And did you have any kind of, let's say, limiting thoughts around that? Because the empire is a big one, and
Yeah.
anyone who has a dream here, especially we are in 2024, the beginning of the year, it's so nice to talk about this topic, the
Right.
empire you build in this year, and what would be that limiting thoughts that hold you back, or maybe nothing hold you back, right?
Yeah, I mean, I really like your questions. To be very honest, when I started, I didn't have any limiting thought. I just left whatever I was doing, and then I thought I'll just bootstrap and do this myself. But then
Okay.
I could accept that moving forward, every day seems to be like, yes, it is stressful because we are doing something and we are bootstrapping, and then money is a finite element, right? So that stress is definitely there, but that did not limit me from doing what I'm doing, and it hopefully will not limit me in the future. But for the audience and the listeners, I would say, when you see a superstar them or something very phenomenal happening, I think at the back are real human beings. They also have their vulnerabilities, and we have to talk about it. It's not always great. So
Yeah.
yes, I mean, there are no limiting factors in my mind, but practically there are certain things, but I'm just walking through it. And the year started with Year of Dragon. I'm a dragon too. When I look at the horoscopes for the dragon, it doesn't look so good, but I guess it's fine. I mean, at the end, it's about the effort that we put and, what we deliver. So it's just for fun, but yes, happy to be a dragon and happy to do this starting. I also launched River exactly in January 2024. So it's like, wow, welcome.
Wow.
Welcome
Happy
2024.
dragon, and we have a lot of dragon in our team. So
Yeah,
we all want to join you. You had dragon team, so yeah.
awesome.
And actually, I just like, oh, I blow my mind because actually I met you in person, and I was like introducing today as I normally did, because most of people on this podcast I never met in person. But
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
remember that I actually even hugged you, and the reason I remember that moment because when you was talking about your energy and your enthusiasm at the beginning, and then how that you start seeing the challenges, and you also remember like why did you start. So I think everyone can actually remember why did you start, and the challenges is a part of that journey.
Yeah.
And I reminded myself about the moment I met you, and I thought, because at that time you were with your baby and your baby was a little bit sick, and you still made time to see us. So
Yes.
I thought like, and the energy you had at that time, even I believe that you had a kind of concern about your baby health. So I thought this is like this mentality that's like gonna be like going through any challenges, and maybe you need even more challenges. So
Oh, thank you for saying this. Yes, I love challenges, but
yeah,
thank you for acknowledging the fact that yes, I do keep up to my commitments. Yeah, I mean when
yeah.
I'm sick, when someone around me is sick, but if I tell you that I'll do something, I will do that. So yeah,
Yeah, lovely. And I think this is a part of what we have to practice, and never ending practice, because things gonna come and go, and a lot of things, especially in the entrepreneurship uh,
yeah.
area, there's like uncertainty and a lot of opportunities, distraction. So yeah, how did you clear that noises? And maybe the noises here can be like good noises. I mean, good opportunities.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe you have a lot of opportunities,
Mhm.
especially the time we met. You just like stop one milestone, and it
Mhm.
opened up so many other chances. How did you really find that focal point to really create that empire vision? Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's like there's something it just grows inside you. So when I was doing the Industry 4.0 thing, I was so enthusiastic about what I'm doing because it was during my pregnancy and maternity. That's when I was building Singapore's first Industry 4.0, right? But then when you keep doing and then you realize that, but where are the women or, where are the, I mean, you're automating something. So, but are you saving water? Are you saving energy? So these are some things that just grow within you. And then one day, I'm really telling you how it happened is one Sunday I just woke up and it's like in my subconscious mind that I've been accumulating all of these things. And then I woke up and then like, oh my God, I will do Industry 5.0 and then I will make it inclusive and how great it is. That's it. That's it. And then I thought, okay, then I went and spoke to a few people that I keep in high regard in my network. I told them like I'm going to do this and then they are like, yes, you should do this and we are going to support you. And then yeah, and then I just went and registered for the company, and then I just thought every word that goes into the deck, everything that comes out of the mind, it's purely me and me thinking it has to be in this way. No one told me it has to be this way. It's just that I believe this is the way it has to be done, and then I'm just doing it in that way. So there's no rule book to it. Yeah.
I just feel like actually there's a lot of theories behind what you have shared that we can really get it and take away and then apply, because you just talk about how did you really like accumulate things over the years, and then you just like slap on it,
Yeah.
you wake up and then
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
connect to the dot. So there's a sense behind it that like people talking about like going to learn something crazily for a part of time and then sleep on it, or maybe go somewhere totally different, and then you start getting it together. So
Yeah.
actually, yeah, it's a great example. And the important factor you was talking about is really your commitment to really identify that what's the next level for you,
Right.
and
Right.
how could you actually like bring all the things that you have learned to really level up the game of the industry and the world, I think.
Yeah.
So maybe everyone who listening it in the new year is awesome time to like get a little bit of
Yeah.
inspiration
Thank you.
and create the empire. So we want to walk a little bit deeper down,
Yeah.
because you have mentioned on how could we be more inclusive, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's a lot of kind of women in technology and other things. Actually, I found that I never actually talk about that. the reason, because I may also try to be like masculine. So I found like talking about that could make me feel like work. It's so interesting. But I could see that maybe you have undergone a lot of challenges of society because
Right.
you're doing this kind of all like a leading technology and science and thing.
Right.
So can you break it down in the human level and in a gender level
Right.
of that journey?
Yes, you're very right. I mean, growing up, I did not have any gender bias at all. I come from an extremely forward-thinking family who my parents always reminded me that I have to run. I mean, a woman or a girl has to run 16 times faster in order to achieve the same goal that a man would run. And I used to wonder, like, why? I mean, it's all the same because I realized that after I was thrown into the society myself, right? When you become independent, when you get married, that is when I realized what my parents told me. So growing up, I didn't have any problem at all. But growing up, we were told that we have to be competitive, we have to be running faster and all that. But when
Mm,
you become independent and lead the real
mm,
life, right? So that's when I kind of, yeah, I started seeing the bias, which started
mm,
from a very family level is like after marriage. That's the point because my parents, my family, we don't have gender bias. And my sister, she lives in Ho Chi Minh City as well, right? So we were like two girls, go do whatever you want to do, kind of, so
yeah.
yeah. But then after you do, I built a medical device. I invented a medical device and I was trying to commercialize it. So
Mm,
that's also when I started hearing these passive voices that,
mm,
oh, you want, if you're very serious about taking this forward, you have to let a man run it because it's a medical device. It's a
mm,
billion-dollar industry. It's a class 3 medical device. So
mm,
when I hear these things, I don't react. I don't, and that's just my character. I don't counter or confront. But what I do instead is, oh, you say this thing about me, I'm just going to prove you wrong by doing my work. I just do my job. That's it. That's it. Yeah, I'm not here to just keep responding to everyone who will criticize about me. That's not my job. Yeah, so I guess the society made me, not my family. The family made the person that I am, and the society made me more aware of, okay, what more can I do? Because when I come from a family which is so nurturing, if I can go through so much, then think about all of those women who don't have that kind of a setup. So I think we as women should come together to empower each other. So it all started that way. Yeah.
Oh, lovely. I think there's a lot of like takeaways, like in a theories and practical levels from what you share, creating the environment and for even mom and dad, whoever listen to it right now can see how important it is. And actually, when you share about if you really truly having that kind of belief strong like you, because you didn't really have that at the beginning, and when society challenge you, you just like nail on anchor on what you believe, the empowering one you have,
Mhm.
and if it's strong enough, the challenges will be just like make you stronger. And
Yeah.
then it's so interesting that even you didn't experience that as a trauma, because a
Yeah.
lot of people would experience a trauma, and
Yeah. Yeah.
they probably later on to come back and empower women, but you don't even experience that as traumas, but you really like speak the voices of that. So
Yeah.
I think even for men, right? For any human who listen to it right now, we
Yeah.
always have the challenge, the ceiling that we don't even know.
Mhm.
And Viveka has like figured it out in a way. So if you talk about one transformation of your life that
Uh-huh.
has made you today,
Yeah.
because you have somehow like as a very great mind and great heart of the empire queen, right? So
Mhm.
it has to be like created in the journey, or in I would say like challenging journey in a way.
Yeah.
So what was that transformation and what was that underlying story?
Yeah, I do have one such thing. So as I told you, like growing up, I was like come from a family which was very nurturing, and then I studied well. I came to Singapore to do my PhD. I wouldn't say I had any real problem until I came to Singapore to do my PhD. But when I came for PhD, I didn't have problems like, PhD related problems, coursework and all of that. So I came to Singapore with a scholarship, but there was a point where I lost my scholarship because of the grades were low and all of that, right? So I was given two options: just quit your PhD and go back, or you just do more hard work, smart work, and bring it up, right? What I was advised to do was to quit and go, because they told me it's difficult really for you to survive. And then I just sustained without a scholarship, and really, and I made it to the other end. Today I've been recognized as outstanding young alumni of National University of Singapore. But back then, 10 years ago, I was kicked out, right? Thank you. But that was a very transformative phase, which I believe that I didn't know I was capable of overcoming so much as a foreigner in a foreign country, a young student, who just had to keep working. Friends became my everything, and then my parents were supporting from home. So that was the first big challenge, which I will never forget, which made the person that I am today. But the next challenge was my pregnancy, which was very traumatic. And that time when I got the opportunity to build the Industry 4.0 ecosystem, because pregnancy, you can say how much challenging it is physically and mentally. I would have, there are two choices. You either focus on your pregnancy, just focus on that. And what I did instead was, what if I don't have the baby? I should have built something. I should have delivered something. So I took up that challenge, even when I was going through a pregnancy, which was traumatic. Look at today what I have. I have a great baby. Yeah. And I have a great accelerator. So I think that was also something that I realized that I can push my own limits. Or well, maybe there are no limits at all. You can just deliver. I know I can do it. Yeah.
Lovely. I just really think, like, how can we build that rocket, like, belief that we can actually figure it out, and
Yeah.
even in the personal life and in the business lives that you have done. And I think it's just like a chance to give you another level challenge. And the baby actually is a great empire. So I just like congratulate you for and the
Yeah.
baby
Yeah.
because that is just like more like somehow even more difficult for somebody who really addicted to work. It's like having baby and
Yes.
personal life.
Yes. Yes.
So what would be that element of one person who actually coming from that kind of, let's say, like developing country, for especially Vietnam is one of the countries that our audience now probably stay in. And what would be that one element that you would give it to them, hand it to their hand, so they can actually tap into that unlimited power and belief when they go abroad or when they face a challenge?
Right. I like telling this, that I'm a small town girl from a developing country, which is India. And then in that developing country, I come from a very small town, which is, it's not a tier one city, it's a tier two city, right? But to me, it really doesn't matter which place you come from. I think it is about what is inside you. I always was aspiring for greatness. I was always thinking I'm going to be big one day. I don't know how, really. I really didn't know, but I know that I will be big one day. So I think Vietnam is doing exceedingly well, because I work with a lot of startups, right? And I help a lot of startups come into APAC region. Two things that I tell them is, Singapore, come to Singapore. Singapore, when you're in Singapore, look at Vietnam. You have a lot of opportunities. I always tell this, like when I bring European
Lovely.
startups. Yes, when
Not
I
India, but Vietnam. That's good.
Yes, because India and China are big markets, volume wise. They are very big markets that you cannot ignore. But at the same time, Singapore and Vietnam, though they are very small, they are pulling in a lot of resources to up their game. So this is where all the resources are. So when I talk to a European company, it doesn't mean it's a startup, even a big MNC, right? I tell them, come to Singapore, and you see there's Vietnam near us. There's Singapore, there's Vietnam, and then the rest of the countries. So I think, for a young girl or a boy growing up in Vietnam, I think he or she is already in a great place. But from being in Vietnam, look outside the globe is so big. I have worked with a lot of Vietnamese PhD students when I did my postdoc. So there are amazing talents.
Yeah,
I like
thank you.
that. Yeah.
That's so awesome that we actually see like when we become very together, it's
Yeah.
like no differences. And it's so nice that you said that we need to adopt that mentality that no matter where we come from, but at the same time, that the advantages of where we come from.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
that is a great harmony
Yeah.
that I think every because that these are actually like share the one thing, but actually the two aspects that can be great combination.
True.
So never be underestimated
Yeah.
by where you come from, but also never underestimate what the place you come from can offer, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
yeah.
so what would be the session now where we have some question from our audience? So I will pick up this one.
Mhm.
You have mentioned on the three pillars of your empire, which is very clear, and you also talk about the path that you create the resources so you can actually actualize that. So what would be your, let's say, three important points so you can actually turn ideas into empires? And maybe you can share in a broader term. It doesn't need to be the one like venture studio, but in general. So somebody who has another kind of empire can think through, okay, I have an idea, I want to make empire. This could be the three important
Mhm.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, should I talk it in the perspective of a startup? Like I have an idea and then I want to do a startup. Should I
Oh,
talk?
you can do both. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, from a startup perspective, if you have an idea, I think what you have to validate is ideas are great, yeah, but do you have a market for what you're thinking is a great idea? So the unmet need, is there a need, right? So that's something that has to be validated. That's point number one. And then point number two, so when you see that there's a need, how big is a need? That you need to think, yeah, is it a small need, a big need? Can you scale it up? Yeah, that's the thing. And the third one, I would say, or the most important one, is also about, are you committed to see through the journey yourself? I mean, you start something, do you want to see the end of it? It's not like you have to start and build an empire, but you should have started and left it somewhere so that there's a learning experience for you to do something else. So I think at the end, it's about you. Do you have it within you? These are the three things that from a startup perspective. But in general, I think I don't have three elements. I only have one. It's about you have to dream. I'm a dreamer. I always dream about, I'll be one day walking that stage. I'll be one day doing this.
Oh,
Think
wow.
of,
It's like
yeah,
imagination can bring you anywhere, right? I
yeah,
can actually feel it like the very first day I met you until now that
thank you.
you really like let yourself in that flow of imagination and possibility.
Yeah,
So
possibly. I like the
uh,
word.
so can you actually like talk about how can you find the people who can like team up with you and then validate that, actualize that? Because I believe that you're talking about how did you pull everyone together. It was very important when you have the people who fill up the elements which you're not like focus on yet.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, yes, that's a very good question also. So you usually my personality is that I like to meet people. I like to meet people not in a crowd. I like to meet people one on one. So I meet one on one many people like over the week, and then I just make them all my allies. It's like I listen to what they have, and then I say what I want to say, and then it's like it's a friendship. And tomorrow when I need something, I know who to pick up the phone and ask for, and then they are there for me because I have always been there for them. So it's like I
Wow.
think it's a relationship that's being built. That's it. So you remember
Uh,
you came to me, we spoke maybe a year ago, and then you came to me, I'm always available. Yeah, I know. Yes,
yeah, you are always available.
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
for
I'm always
me,
available.
like I have to give up on it. Yeah,
Yes,
thank you. And I think that's just kind of like it's so like consistent
yeah,
over the time, and
yes,
I think that is a key. So investing in that, and
yeah.
then both way or many ways. So yeah, I think everyone will love your energy and your vision and your presence with them. So
Thank
we have another question where we call it is a section we call it 5 second rules, but
you. Okay.
actually you don't need to answer in 5 seconds. because we also like to have a little bit like useful answer from you, where
Okay.
we ask some questions where people can actually take away. For example, that one just now, people can take away from some elements. And you talk about both startup and gender, and you want to talk about any other aspect also?
Okay, yeah. So startups, yes, that's one important thing that I like, and gender. But in general, I like what do you say? Let me take this opportunity to invite your audience, to collaborate, to work with, because I believe in human beings more than whatever. Because some
Mm,
people believe in pets, some people believe in something, some people like to
mm,
be alone. I'm a person who likes to be collaborative. So for the audience out there, I would invite you to connect with me on LinkedIn, or to connect with
yeah,
me.
you already
Yeah,
answered the last question.
yeah, yes. Oh, yeah. So connect with
Yeah.
me on LinkedIn. Maybe Jen will provide my details to you later. And I would like to work with the startups through you. Yeah, in the
Mhm.
audience. So that's my message. Come, I welcome you to work with us, because we are both trying to do the same thing, right? We are
Yeah,
both, yeah. And that's so interesting that in a startup ecosystem, only it is possible that you don't look at each other as competitors, but you look
yeah,
at each other and like, oh, what value can we actually bring? How can we come together
exactly.
to actually add more value to what we do, right? So that's something that's very interesting that I have observed, which is not in any other industry. I would say in any other industry, you are my
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
One of the reasons also because startup, like we are very limiting
yes,
resources
yes,
in a way, but we are resourceful. So
yes, yes,
let's say we are resourceful. So any kind of like human connection
that's
becomes
right.
a resource. So
Yes.
I really like to have this like upgraded question from that. What would be the very like touching points for somebody who talk to you and collaborate with you, because we have the men you mentioned on the startup, but who else that actually can have a touch point to connect and work with you?
Yeah, sure. So startups definitely who want to accelerate, but we
Okay.
also welcome corporates, because
Mhm.
as an acceleration program, what is so important about what I do is to bring the startups and connect them with corporates and do a proof of concept within them, right? So
Mm.
I welcome to work with corporates and other accelerators and incubators like you, and
Yeah,
academic partners and
thank you.
investors, of course. Yes, the investors are always they are needed. So it's like every segment of the startup ecosystem, every stakeholder. So please do connect with us. Yeah. With me,
Yeah.
Jen. Yeah. With us. Yeah.
Yeah, we actually need to come together, as you said, like we need
Yeah.
to come together so we can utilize the resources and actually like maximize it. So the next 5 second question for you would be like, what would be your very next empire after this empire? Wow.
Yes.
So that's this
Yes. I,
like feeling.
I mean, I don't have the answer, but yes, I know what I want to do. This is not something that I will do
Mhm.
forever. I will exit as a startup mentality person. When you start something, I also think about exit. I want to exit, and I think when I exit, there should be something else that's up and coming at that point. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is, but I should be doing that. I should be
yeah,
doing that. But it will also be in the startup ecosystem, I believe, and I also
yeah.
have some other things like to set up a foundation to support
Mm,
um, pregnancy and new parents, because that's something very
uh,
personal to me also. So
yeah,
what I underwent. So I want to do a foundation that's something apart from startup. But if you see, you realize one thing: my professional life and my passion both are the same. It's startup and
yeah,
the ecosystem. So I don't look at it like this is my career and this is like my passion. They're
yeah.
both the same. But apart from that, yes, I'm in the midst of setting up a foundation. That's one thing.
Oh, yeah.
And another like a childhood dream is to set up a library and a coffee shop together. So that's also something that
Wow, that's
yeah,
one we would love to talk about that
yeah.
with you, because I know one of the startup founders who is watching it right now. If he will, he
Mhm.
actually like setting up just co-living. I call that
Yeah.
24 hour the library together, coffee and all the
Oh,
things
I
that
would like to
a
talk to him.
startup founder can actually be in there 24 hours, because he was a person who felt like he didn't have the space where he can stay 24 hours to work,
My God, I
living
really
and
like
like
that
other things.
movie.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. I mean, okay, so this person didn't have the space, so he wanted to create it. But in my story, I have the space and I feel that's interesting. And I want to, like, okay, let me do it in a bigger scale, you know?
Oh, yeah, lovely. That's
Yeah, when I get something, I just want to make it bigger. Yeah. But
yeah. I think
so,
like we can see like, and also our team Huang Huang is watching it here, working in the Gen book co-creators where we are actually now publishing the book of foreigners in Vietnam and Vietnam to outside of Vietnam. So we would actually see the matching here. And Dr. Ramesh is one of our the very first foreign author who actually published her book in Vietnam, and the name is a Big Jam. So I know you have connection with her too
yeah.
because I introduced
I
and
did a podcast with her 2 weeks ago, and then when she came to Singapore, she gifted me the book. Probably that's the book that you're talking about.
yeah, but it was in English, right? Or
Yes,
you took the one in Vietnamese?
yeah.
Okay, all right.
My sister lives in Ho Chi Minh. Probably she's learning Vietnamese, but not me. But the book
Okay,
was,
yes.
yeah.
I would love to like dig deeper on that kind of topic. So the next question would be for another audience here. What would be your three books? Okay, yeah, let's talk about this question. Three books for a person who want to turn idea into an empire, or let's say a validated idea. Yeah,
The person wants me to suggest a book. Is that
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
Okay, unfortunately, I don't like to read self-help books or books based on startup thing, but I read a lot, but they are not
Any
directly.
books? Yeah,
Yeah,
any
yeah, okay.
aspect.
Then I have, so my most favorite book is called Agony and Ecstasy. It is the biography of Michelangelo. Yeah,
Oh,
I will definitely recommend. That is a There was a phase when after my PhD, I didn't have a job for like 6 months. To me,
okay.
that was the one of the most depressing phase, because you can imagine the person that I am.
Yeah,
Job you can't
yeah.
even.
PhD, no job, 6 months.
Yes. Oh my God, I was in India also at that time, and then I read this book. This book just kept me going through those dark days that I like to call it.
Oh, I would
Agony.
love to have you put the name of the book
Yes,
somewhere for the audience
yes,
too. Yeah.
anyone, because it really describes the life journey of Michelangelo. And after reading the book was suggested to me by my father. When I asked him what is his most, my father reads a lot of books. He reads like at
Oh,
a time
lovely.
10 books. Okay, so he told me Agony and Ecstasy, and then I read the book, and then he told he wanted to visit Sistine Chapel, Vatican City. He didn't say he wanted to visit. He said he was amazed by the work. So I took my parents to Vatican City and led them
Oh,
in Chapel, let them
wow.
see the works of Michelangelo. So for me, what was a book when I didn't have a job, that later when I got a job, I thought the first thing that I did was to go on a Europe trip, and especially to Italy and
Wow.
city to bring my parents.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Maya has been a great mentor of our icon Oprah. So I just thought like you are also one of the very like leaders who really make a movement as women or a human or soul being. So thank you, and thank you, Maya. She made another great woman here. Yeah, I think you talk about you didn't read the self help, but I think Maya was one of the best self help guru in a way because she was really talking about her like how she actually nurtured herself. I think that's
Right.
and she got a lot of trauma. So a
Oh,
great recommendation. What else? Another book?
yeah, okay. So the other book is Richard Dawkins, God Delusion. It's about, I don't know. I mean, it's not about whether you're a believer of God or not believer of God. To me,
Yeah.
it's a fantastic work of science, because I am a biology student. I'm a science student, right?
Oh,
It
wow.
talks about
Yeah.
genetics and the
Mm,
evolution. I believe in evolution, the
yeah.
Darwin's theory. So Richard Dawkins' evolution.
Mm,
Sorry, God Delusion, it's called. And then
mm.
I like my most favorite author is the Da Vinci Code. Yeah, I like it as a book.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's
Beautiful.
something. Yeah, so three books I told you: Da Vinci Code, God Delusion, Agony and Ecstasy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's checkers a great combination, I guess.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I like Dan Brown. I have read most of his book, but Da Vinci Code, I think, is one of his best books. And then the other favorite author that I like is Khaled Hosseini, Kite Runner,
Mm,
Thousand Splendid Suns. I read all these books like a kind of a young kid, maybe too intense for a young
yeah.
read.
Mm,
But
yeah.
I also like Sherlock Holmes. Yeah.
Wow, I can see like your adventure level and your curiosity and also your like engagement in all of these kind of like
Yeah,
somehow
yeah.
you why did you choose these books, and it also require a level of depth of thinking, and
Yeah.
also like you know very guessing or making that decision. So I think this is kind of somehow you have nurtured very greatly, and thank you for doing it. So the very last 5 second rule question, because we know that we have you around 1 hour.
Mhm.
What is your habit? I love that one. I love habits.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love
So
her.
what would be your top 3 habits as an entrepreneur, a leader, researcher, a MIT alumni, or what was the other thing, right? What would be your top 3 habits to really turn your empire to have more people involved in it and create their empire? The top 3 habits. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a very disciplined person. I'm a very disciplined person. So habits is something that I like. So I exercise every day. Even if it is for 10 minutes, I exercise every day. I'm not like that fitness. I'm a fitness freak in the sense that not like that muscular fitness freak, but I keep myself active. So that's my top one habit. Very, very
Thank
consistent.
you, thank you. This is the awesome one. And I just interrupt you, so I know you have more than 5 seconds. I
Mhm.
also met one of my very nice friends that she said like you. I saw her 5 minutes in the gym, and I said like only 5 minutes. She said 5 minutes every day
Yeah,
is the
I
best.
like
I
her.
still do. I don't need 15 minutes, but the idea I want to keep going. I said,
Yes,
and that moment, I just really see another kind of angle of discipline. And
absolutely.
so
Absolutely. Yes.
awesome. Keep that commitment. You did, and
Yes.
you have done. Yeah.
Yeah,
And the
so
second,
three habits is it? Okay, exercise is one thing, and then I meet people every day also. One new person at least. That is also a habit. I cannot not be without that. So that is also a habit. Yes,
when
yes.
did you start doing it?
I don't know. Maybe you can say like consciously after I came out, like for my undergrad onwards, from my
Mm.
undergrad onwards, like it was 17 years onwards. So because I was in hostel, then I
Wow.
made a point that I go out with a one person or meet one friend every evening till this date, even though my
Okay,
pregnancy.
I'm gonna have another question. Even I said the last one was the last one. Okay, so what was the next one? That awesome.
Or
Meet
travel.
a new
Travel is
person, or maybe we say like learn something new. And in your way, I think you learn something new or expand your visions or your perspectives by meeting people, right? But maybe it's other friends who want to read one more book. I don't know, but the idea is to actually expand your perspectives in a way. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. And the other habit is travel. Travel is a habit to me as well. I travel a lot.
Oh, that's another great one.
Yeah.
What about okay? So I don't. Everybody go deeper. It's gonna be forever ending. So
Hello. Yeah. Please go ahead.
okay, this one is a very like you know we call it like not in the list of the question, but we know that you have your personal life, your business life, and people often talk about work-life balance, and especially when you're women, people would include that in the question. But I like the word harmony, especially this year.
Yeah.
Our team gonna use this word more.
Nice.
So how can you create that kind of level of harmony in your life? Because I would feel that your family would be nice always to have you as you are now or startup meeting you. So how
Yeah.
can you create that harmony? Or you don't have that harmony, I don't know. I believe that you have. Yeah.
Yes, I do have harmony. I cannot exist without that, right? I consciously make sure I cannot have a bad personal professional life, right?
Yeah.
So I do have a very harmonious life, I would say, which is I cannot do that by myself. So I have a very supportive husband. So
Oh.
I feel guilty when I like for example, today I came home late and then I just came into this podcast. I didn't have a time to spend with my
Thank
baby.
you for your husband.
Yeah, my husband will compensate for it. So that I think it's a teamwork. So teamwork will build a harmony, and the person also understands why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I also understand what he is doing. So it's like we together are nurturing this. So yes,
Wow.
teamwork. It's a teamwork. Yeah.
Yeah, I would actually like see that there's a list of frameworks and theories that we can actually apply by what you share, because you just talk about you made your husband a team member of
Yes.
your dream and you
Yes.
did it to him, and our team, like we keep practicing on that. It is just a journey to practice, like everyone can be our team member, the
Yes.
guy on the street and the
Absolutely.
driver, and
That is true.
especially who like our loved ones. So it's so awesome. And I actually always invite our team members to go back my hometown, where
Yeah.
I got a lot of also, like, like a limiting belief that I built. And I really want to harmonize this. And our team have been very supportive on that. And I love to invite you one day to my hometown, my authentic hometown. And you can see the parents will become a part of our team too,
Oh,
in
that's
the
amazing. It's
startup
beautiful.
empire journey.
Yeah.
Very long journey. And
Yeah.
would love to invite your family too one day when
Sure.
you
Thank
come to
you.
Vietnam.
Thank you. Thank
So,
you.
Viveka, Dr. Viveka, how can we connect with you
Mm.
the best? I know you are always going to be there,
Yeah.
especially when the startup as a keyword.
Yeah.
What would be the best way to connect with you? You said LinkedIn,
LinkedIn.
and what else? And can you share what is coming
Yeah.
that you either come to Vietnam, or maybe your events or something, so
Yes.
people can look for that
Yes.
here?
Yes. So LinkedIn is a good way to connect with me. I am in the name of Dr. Viveka Kalidasan. I think spelling, I don't know, maybe Jen, you should help the audience with it. Dr. Viveka Kalidasan, PhD. That's my LinkedIn thing. And a simple way for the connection personally, you can personally write to me, vivekakalidasan@gmail.com. I have work emails, but if I say that, it's very confusing. But I think vivekakalidasan@gmail.com is very easy. You can connect there, and then I will connect through my work later. So these
Yeah,
are
okay.
methods. And yes, Jen, I want to work with you as a person, and also institutionally also, because so much things happening in the space of River Venture Studio that
Yeah.
I have planned a year long of activities focusing on startups in different parts of the world. So we are doing
Mm-hmm.
an event in Singapore, then we're going to London in June, and then I want to come to Vietnam because
Please.
I know you are there. I trust me when I tell this. We haven't spoken, but then I thought I know I'm going to Vietnam, and then I'm going to talk to Lab to Market and Jen,
Yeah,
right?
please.
So
Yeah.
I already decided. I told my corporate partners that we are going to Vietnam and we are going to do this, working very very closely with the Vietnamese startups.
Mm.
Yeah, and bringing them to a global space. So that's what I have in the pipeline for you. But we also have a very exciting year ahead. I would like to invite you for all my events, if possible, for you to come to Singapore, to London, to wherever we are going as a partner. Please do come. Yeah, I will be
Thank you.
sending you invites. Just come for whichever you are available, and we can also do a lot of virtual shows together. Yeah.
Lovely. Yeah, thank you. As we are doing today, and with the support of your team, as your family, your husband and your baby. So give our love and happy new year to them, and every single person that have really supported your journey, and that
Thank
how you have done to us. And mm, I just want to say thanks to your father, especially with the book and all the things that it was the journey, the point where you actually like get back up online and you created many things, and you're going to create another empire. And it is an inspiration for us. So
thank
we love to actually ask you this one.
Yeah.
It's not the 5 second rule, but it's the very ending of every conversation we have. Not maybe the end, okay? So look for that. What would be the name of the book that you would write about your life?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a human library. So I've been invited, I get invited to be a human library for many events here. And then they
Mhm.
ask me, what's the book title? Like what
Oh, you have that.
book? And I
Yeah.
just say, it would be called many books, the first book would probably call Delivered, and then it's like a baby and a venture studio. So I delivered at the same time a baby and a venture studio. So
Oh
in
my
my life,
goodness.
yeah,
So,
I guess
oh,
yes.
the beautiful. Wait,
Thank
it's a
you.
great title.
Thank you.
I just think like this has to really come to the market because that title
Yeah.
itself is already like trigger us deliver, right?
Delivered.
Okay.
Yeah, it's delivered. So I was just giving them the title. Like they asked me, if you're the book, what is the title? And then I told, I can write 10 books, but this will be the first book. And this will,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Please deliver this
Yeah.
book to us. Okay. The one challenge that you think every one of us after this conversation right now, right here, can walk home and or maybe stand up on the chair, will do it. So they can actually actualize their desire to turn something to another thing in the real life.
Right.
What
So
would that be that one challenge?
you're asking me what is a challenge that I have or the other?
That everyone, sorry, I just like emotionally describe that, right? So every one of us who listening to it right now here, if
Uh-huh.
we turn off this,
Uh-huh.
laptop and stand up, what would be that one challenge we can do after our conversation today, so
Uh-huh.
we can right away apply the essence of our conversation here?
Huh. Okay. Um, oh, okay. It's a very difficult question, I think, because I never looked at anything like a challenge or a task. But
Oh, that's a good. That's nice.
yes,
Maybe
yes,
one thing people can do.
yes.
Okay.
But if you're okay, let me tell this then. It's a very interesting question. Maybe you can write what is the purpose of your life? Because I think many people in today's world, they lack
Oh.
purpose. There's so much of depression, anxiety, and whatever around
Mm.
because they lack that purpose. Yeah.
Mm.
So we all are working, right? But not everyone is passionate about what they are working. So I would
Mm.
maybe you can sit and reflect a moment and ask yourself, what are you passionate about? And
Wow.
are you doing that? Or then you're in
That's
the
a
wrong
big
place
one.
if you're not doing that, right? So
Mm.
maybe that's the task, I would say, rather than a challenge. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, because it's very specific right now. It right up to now, or at least think about it, because I just think it's so beautiful topic to even like welcome you back. If you didn't put your book out there yet, but how can we actually like live the life where we can already like get busy with the purpose, not busy with the depression and the anxiety. So, and even that anxiety may come from living on purpose rather than living on not having the purpose.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
thank you for that very beautiful challenge or task. Okay, and we love to hear from everyone. What did you write, and maybe we can come back one day with Dr. Viveka and hear more on her empire. And maybe this will be the show in Vietnam when you come here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Thank
I
you,
look forward.
everyone.
Thank you, Jen.
And
Lovely talking
have
to you.
wonderful dragon year as your dragon. And you have a team around you. And have wonderful everyone who listening to it today or maybe later on. We all deserve to have something like empire, especially when we come together virtually together in person. Love
Sure.
everyone.